status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our cares team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening, folks? Today, we're talking about immigration options. I know y'all need to get legal status. We're also going to talk about the elephant in the room. USCIS fees are going up. That's going to be April 1st. Okay, folks, that is about 2 weeks away. So it's no joke. It's not an April Fool's joke. It's happening. Okay, and I'll show you the proof. Folks, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe prevent that problem from happening in the first place. Because there's a crap ton of problems. Okay, you may have heard about that. Now, welcome to the show. All right, so a little housekeeping here. If you are new to the show and you're wondering how to contact us, how to ask more questions, maybe because I was not able to answer your question yesterday or earlier this week, or maybe even today. Okay, this is how you do it. You go to greencardguys.com, click on contact us. All right, there's a link to a form. If you want to qualify for a strategy session at no cost to you. We currently do not charge for it. But folks, there's been a few people who have not showed up. And this is a little interesting because at this day and age, in 2024, it's just a lot easier to have a meeting virtually, remotely. You don't even have to show up to the office. But some people, I don't think people are trying to be disrespectful. But if you don't show up, you're taking a spot from someone else. And we have limited spots in the first place. So please consider that. If you can't show up, it's okay. Just let us know. Okay? Because we're going to reevaluate in a week or so. And unfortunately, if it continues, we might charge. Okay? And it's not much. It's like less than a cup of coffee. But I don't really want to do that. But if people continue to not show up, that frustrates my team. And we're really trying to help fulfill our mission to help you live and work in America legally. All right, folks. So let's get that down to business and let me share my screen. You can ask questions in the section below. I just want to share with you first what's going on with the fees, because a lot of y'all are eligible based on your questions. A lot of y'all are eligible to apply, but many people call us like 6 months later, 1 year later, like, John, I don't know what the heck happened. I had a baby. I got divorced. I got remarried. So just things happen. I get it. But y'all, it's 2024. Even if you have a baby, don't use that as an excuse for yourself, okay? You have calendars on your phone. You can set reminders for yourself, okay? That you need to get it done before the fees increase. Fees are increasing April 1st. But the other thing you need to know is that you can't some people might think, oh, it's April 1st tomorrow, so let me just mail it out tomorrow, like 2-day mail. No, or next day mail. It has to be received. Your package has to be received by USCIS before April 1st. And not only that, just because it was delivered before April 1st, they might not actually open your package until like April 1st. And you just don't want to risk it, right? You don't want to. And what happens if they don't open it in time? I mean, they're supposed to guarantee that it's going to be the current fees right now, right? If you deliver it before April 1st, but you just never know. And the result is that it could be rejected. So why waste all that time? Get it done now. So that's part of our service with our team. We have 3 service levels. Okay. The max one, we file your case in 30 days. So it's cutting it close right now. It's 2 weeks, but we can make it work depending on what evidence you may or may not have. All right, folks, but let me show you the proof. Okay. Right here, I believe is this page right here. It shows you on the USCIS website.gov. Sorry, folks on TikTok. I'm not able to share my screen. Oh shoot! I'm supposed to click this button for folks on Instagram. Folks on Instagram, it's not that easy to go live on Instagram, synced with all these different platforms. But anyway, you would think they got it together. Anyway, so this memo here, this announcement came out January 30th, 2024. This is supposed to happen last year. It could have happened during President Trump's administration, but he did certain things like add a $10 fee to asylum. Clearly, people were going to sue the government to try to stop it, which it did. It did happen. It got stopped. So this is, and usually they increase. If you're like frustrated about this, like, look, inflation is happening everywhere, including your eggs and milk. So I'm surprised USCIS didn't increase fees last year. But usually, folks, it's every 2 years. Okay. Now let me show you the other thing. This is the oops, not print. I don't want to click print. I meant to increase the size here. Okay, this is the final rule with the federal government talking about fee increase. Okay, this is a 586 pages. So I truncated it into a spreadsheet. Okay, there you go. You can see it on if you're on TikTok and you're on a computer, you could go to greencardguys.tv and they'll redirect you to our YouTube channel where I'm sharing my screen here on the fee before the fee increase, before April 1st, and the fee after. Okay, so you can see I've highlighted some boxes in green, some in yellow. Um, but yeah, I mean, for example, I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see here on the 485 applications, 1225 right now. And now it's going to go to 1440. And typically, as of right now, until now, or until April 1st, you can apply for a work permit. But let's say, like, based on adjustment of status. So, most common one is based on marriage. Okay. You can, you don't have to pay a fee for the work permit. You don't have to pay a fee for the travel document, aka advance parole. But unfortunately, April 1st, you're going to have to pay a little bit extra. Okay. It's time. It's unfortunately time that they're actually charging for this. I'm surprised they didn't do this like many years ago. And if you're wondering, another reason why could be wondering, like, why is this happening? Congress does not fund, okay, USCIS. Okay, so the money that you pay as an applicant, it helps to employ people with USCIS. So it's quite interesting why they do this, but it's frustrating. I know, I get it, but I don't know why they do that. Maybe Congress wants to put more money to military defense. Go figure. But go ahead and ask a question in the chat. Let me see if you have any specific questions about which applications are going to what fee. Um, please know this: only ask if you know that you're going to apply after April 1st. Right? I just have this in case for you on the spreadsheet and for my team. But if you're able to apply before April 1st, then you don't need to know how much it's going to be. Right? So, because I can imagine a lot of y'all may have these questions, and I would like to reserve some of the time for some substantive questions. Okay, so let me get down to this. Hi, Chelvin. Good to see you. Blessings to you. Now to the questions. How y'all doing today? My office, by the way, some of y'all ask, I'm in Houston, Texas. Even though we have meetings virtually, remotely, welcome to come on down. A lot of great food here in Houston. We can get some grub. But yeah, I know you guys are busy. So all right, so let's see here. All right. Sanjay has a question on TikTok. Hello, sir. Your green card got you got your green card 2 weeks earlier than my okay, what you specifically said. My green card got 2 weeks earlier than PD to be current. Is it okay? I don't know what you mean. Do you mean your priority date? Or you actually receive your green card before the priority date? Well, then that's great. I mean, hopefully they don't try to revoke it if that's what you're curious about. To Chelvin asked, So you saying for renewal work permit there is no fee? No, I'm not. I did not say that at all. Actually, I'm saying for the initial package for filing, if you have not filed before with adjustment status after April 1st or after, there will be a fee in general for work permit. I did not mention anything about renewal, but based on what the none of this spreadsheet I share with you on my screen has nothing to do about renewal. This conversation is only about initial filing because there's separate policy announcements that talk about renewals. So you can find that on the USCIS website, which a significant amount of them um, are free for renewal for adjustment status. All right, what's up? What's up? All right, next question here. Let's see. Prob on TikTok, your BIA motion to reopen is pending. Your I-130 is approved. Can you get PD? It's possible. That's what they mentioned in the memo from a year ago, at least. Um, but I can imagine anything from the BIA, Board of Immigration Appeals, as you experience, is going to take a hell of a long time, but it could be worth a shot. All right. I mean, especially under Biden administration, even though I know a lot of y'all are suffering a long delay and just getting a response about your PD, you have to try because if there's a new president, even if it's Democratic president, I mean, a lot of y'all assuming Biden could get the ticket, but for Democrat, but you never know what could happen. So it does not matter red or blue. This policy for PD could go away, meaning the expansive version. PD always exists. It just right now, this past year or so, it's been a year and a half, 2 years has been expansive. So time is now to try. Okay. All right. Crescendo on TikTok. U.S. citizens, you are, I think you're saying you're a U.S. citizen, filed for your wife and kids in the same time. Your wife got approved. How long for the kids to get it? There's no telling. I mean, usually when that happens, you would, first of all, you would think, yeah, it should be at the same time, but it's not. Um, some we've had our experience is generally less than 30 days, but can't guarantee that for you. Alrighty. Let's see here. Absolutely happy to clarify that for you, Chelvin. Hey, Mariana on Instagram. Absolutely happy to help you. I realize I need to get in touch with you just to say hello. So nice to see you on Instagram. And she was saying that she's a former client. She was saying that she was able to get her status done from our team remotely. So even though we're in Texas, in Houston, Texas, even some of our team members are work remotely in a different city. We can help you out, even if you're in a different state. Alrighty. Becca on TikTok. Your niece came to USA with a different name. Ooh. Now she's trying to have a child support. Well, I can't help her on the child support part. Um, but if your niece applies for a different immigration application feature, she's gonna have to figure out what to say about the different name. And if she wants to come clean on that, she's gonna have to file a 601 application for fraud or misrepresentation. And of course, I know a lot of y'all think that you did a little white lie and that doesn't count as fraud. Well, a white lie is considered fraud or misrepresentation or lack of telling the government something. An omission is what we call it. That is still considered fraud or misrep. So you gotta come clean. You want to talk to immigration lawyer 101 about that. Alrighty. Um, Patience D31. Is a signature in the money order have to be the same on the application? I don't think so. I think USCIS just wants your money. But I don't recommend a money order. But if you do, please take a picture, scan it, because just no way to track track it. And I realize a cashier's check, I don't think you can track if it's cashed either. But if that's the best you could do on that, then go for it. Which, by the way, folks, they do have a credit card form. So if you haven't paid for the money order and you have a credit card, I believe it's the form G1450. How are y'all doing today? Thanks for all your questions. There's a ton here. Thanks for your trust. I will I've become a little bit slower in answering it, but also I want to make sure y'all are able to understand me. So I'm slowing it down just a little bit. Rodrigo, how much to get parents' residency? Do you mean time or money? But if you're talking about money, we do offer three service levels. Really depends on the services you want from our law firm. But of course, the maximum service, the maximum coverage, we do charge more for that. And unfortunately, especially since you're on TikTok, I've been banned before, even when I mentioned my consult fee before. So that's why I do the hand signal. But it's really best DM us or give us a call. Okay, Rodrigo? Appreciate it. And thanks for the follow, folks. I really appreciate it. Can't believe it's Friday already. TGIF. Okay, Bubbles. Bubbles on TikTok. I don't know why it didn't let me pin it. Can I expedite my USCIS case? Your son is 5 years old. You filed 3 years ago. If you have a reason, and if you need our expedite request guide, we don't charge to share our guides. It has specific reasons on how to expedite. But depending on your status, if it's been 3 years and you're a U.S. citizen, that's concerning to me. You might want to need to file a mandamus lawsuit. Our team's happy to chat with you about that. If you're a resident, then that's different. If you're a resident in that scenario, then most likely it doesn't qualify for mandamus because 3 years as a resident sponsor is normal. Okay. Cherry Amore. Cherry Amore. You're a U.S. citizen. All right. Uh, let's see. U.S. citizen, can you still apply to bring your sister from the Philippines? Absolutely. Are you talking about visitor visa or like an immigrant visa, green card? Now, you might know, Cherry, that the timing is a long time. It's like at least 10 years. But you gotta don't let that timing overall affect you or your sister or your siblings, whoever else is considering F4 category. You just gotta file the petition. That's step number one. Back in 2008, when the Gang of Eight senators were considering, like legitimately considering, what do you call the reform for immigration, they were actually talking about getting rid of the F4 category. But of course, they don't care about reform right now, at least. They just talk, 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 but they don't actually get anything done. But that's just something to be aware of. So you want to make sure you have your case petition on file at least for that. Don't wait around on that. Okay. Let me switch over to YouTube right here. Chelvin, let's see, Chelvin. Your wife was brought to the U.S. when she was a baby. You've been trying to get her a green card for almost 10 years. You're a U.S. citizen with 3 kids born here in H Town. You checked her status. It says ready, waiting on appointment. So I think what you're talking about is the visa interview abroad. So that means they have all the paperwork, including her pardon paper. Okay, good. Glad. So happy to hear that. That you have, sounds like I'm inferring that your waiver 601A was approved. You had an appointment last year. Appointment, the visa interview, is that what you're talking about, Chelvin? But we did not go because we did not. Oh, you didn't have a pardon. Okay, so you need to update the National Visa Center. Okay, and if that doesn't work, then you need to update the consulate directly or embassy, because of course they're just assuming you abandon the application. So for anyone who is in a similar or could be in a similar situation, if you have a waiver application on file, that's pending, and you have a visa appointment, visa interview that they just email you and say, "Hey, you got to show up like next month." Usually, it's about a month lead time. You need to update them as soon as possible because you don't want them to think that you abandon that application, and that would not be good. Chelvin, thank you so much for bringing that up. So contact your embassy or consulate or even the National Visa Center because maybe they kick the file back. Um, so, anyways, hopefully you can contact them soon. Now to Nini. Nini, you married for more than 2 years. You didn't receive a notice of interview, and your case is still pending. What should you do? Are you married to? Is a sponsor a U.S. citizen? But more than 2 years. I mean, that's like most likely because the sponsor is a resident. But I think you had another comment here. You said Houston, Texas. Okay. You've been married for, okay, 20 months. 20 months. Congratulations to you. Yes. You're born here. Okay. Well, then that's a situation where we're stuck. Okay, Nini, that you may consider filing a lawsuit called Mandamus lawsuit. And our team's happy to help you. I feel bad that many people have to be, or not have to be, but USCIS or the State Department puts the case in a black hole, essentially. Because as you may have heard on our channel and maybe other attorneys, a lot of these marriage cases, when it's in the United States, um, fairly quick, much quicker than in the past. Like when I mean the past, like before 2022. So 2023 and currently this year is average 3 to 5 months, and usually the interview is waived. So so what we do, folks, is not just like, hey, okay, we'll file your lawsuit. We like to chat with y'all to understand your situation better because some didn't share before and they had a site visit to their home before. They didn't tell us that. So not to say we wouldn't file a lawsuit, but when we finally get a response from USCIS, then they send us an RFE or a NOID, folks, notice of intent to deny, and guess how much time the government gives us? 30 days. So we like to do the best we can to have more lead time. So if someone tells us, hey, by the way, we had a site visit by an officer. Okay, then prepare for one of these letters asking for more evidence. And then by the time we sue, at least you're more prepared, right? And then of course, if for any reason the government does not actually USCIS ask for more evidence and they approve you, wonderful. But at least you were prepared because 30 days is not it's actually limited time. Time flies, okay, folks. Hopefully that was a bit helpful for you, Nini. But give us a chat. Your attorney, but he is a felony. It has something to do with that. Um, is your is your spouse the citizen? Absolutely happy to help. Is your spouse a citizen, Nini, or are you? If when your spouse has a status, um, sometimes, well, a good amount of time, if your spouse who's a citizen and has a crime or criminal history, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're prevented from getting status. However, it does slow it down because there is a law called Adam Walsh Act, but that it's supposed to be related for fiance visas. However, we've had to sue on this before, where the USCIS had the case stuck because anytime USCIS will see some kind of crime, criminal history by the petition or the sponsor, it goes to a different track, and it's not supposed to go to a different track. So, but it's not for any crime. Adam Walsh Act that's relevant for fiance visas, which I don't know why it's only for fiance visas, but it prevents moving forward when the crime has to do with child abuse. So pretty serious stuff. All right, they asked for more evidence last year, and you've done that. All right, let me switch over, and I'll come back to you if you have a follow-up comment. Thanks so much for your questions. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna be able to get through all of them, but I will try my best, and I will try not to skip. Sometimes TikTok just like makes some comments disappear. So I can understand why y'all copy and paste now. Not because I'm slow. Um, by the way, if y'all got some value from the live show, it just helps me feel a little better if you just tap the screen a little bit or however you do it on TikTok or other platforms. I think you hit the like button or something, the thumbs up over there. Thanks for the follow. Kimmy on TikTok. After you get approved for I-130, what's next? So I'm assuming, safe assumption, that your case, um, that the beneficiary, the foreign national, is outside the United States or is in the US now and needs to apply for a waiver. So it just depends on facts. But let's say your spouse is outside the United States or whoever you're sponsoring, then it's a waiting for the visa interview overall, right? But there's several steps before that. Within 3 to 5 weeks, sometimes we get in 1 week an email from the National Visa Center with a new case number. Okay, the first three characters are letters, and that's to indicate your consulate or embassy. Then the rest of it, the characters are numbers. Okay, so that's the case ID number. And that same email, you get an invoice ID number, and all that information is to help you log in per se and pay those fees. In total, there's two different fees that total $445, I believe. Alrighty, let's see. I'm scrolling down because I'm trying not to skip anyone. And sometimes, if you're wondering, like if you join other people's live show, if you ever wonder why people skip, it's because people copy and paste, by the way, which again, I understand why you may copy and paste, especially on TikTok, it's easier. But like for me, when I see a comment that I answered, then I just like go from there. So that's the problem. So I apologize if I skip you on accident. Let's see here. Ooh, this is interesting. DSHA slays on TikTok. How do I withdraw an 864 and use for a different person? Um, well, what's your situation? So I need no more information. Like, did you sponsor a spouse and then that, the marriage didn't work out anymore, you got divorced? If that's the case, then that case ends, right? But if you filed for a different family member and that person already got residency, then you're on the hook until that person becomes a citizen. Um, but that doesn't mean you can't sponsor anyone else. Okay, that person, that let's say that first person that you sponsored, will be considered like count as one person. Well, obviously, but as a so someone that you sponsored, that will have to go on the new application 864 for the second person or different person you sponsor. So I would need to know a bit more information on that, but hopefully that those two different scenarios helps, or my explanation of it. Alrighty. Alrighty, let's see here. uh, Shelvin, your wife's DACA is expiring this month and her work permit. Do you renew them even though it says ready on Visa Center? Yeah, I would go ahead and renew it, Shelvin, on YouTube, because yeah, because even though you may have received an email that says like documentary qualified, we have no idea. I mean, average 6 months for an interview to be scheduled. But worst case scenario, in case something happens abroad, which knock on wood, hopefully not. But if anything, she could re-enter with DACA. With so Chelvin strategy here, um, your wife should apply for advanced parole. Okay, because just having DACA alone is not going to allow the customs officer to allow someone to come back in. So she needs to apply for advanced parole 131 based on DACA. Alrighty. Which, by the way, folks, we do help assist with cases even when you filed your own application before. We found that we've also helped people who filed it through another attorney or notary consultant and need some help after. And we're happy to help. A lot of law firms don't like to help in that kind of scenario, but I don't see why not. We realize that it helps us fulfill our mission to help you secure legal status to live and work in America legally. Latoya, how long does a FAWA case take to approve? Generally, if you file the 485 application as well, generally 3 years. Okay, so hopefully it helps out. Alrighty. I know 3 years is a long time for sure. Kimmy, on TikTok, yes, we do file adjustment of status. We pretty much help with almost every application related to getting immigration status except asylum. Okay, we don't help with asylum. We refer those out to other trusted colleagues who several I know that only help with asylum actually. So, one off the top of my head, if you're wondering, asylum attorney, political asylum attorney, Brian Manning and his legal team, law firm, they help with that. He's on all these social networks as well. Chelvin, sorry to hear that. So Chelvin's mentioning from YouTube, their attorney has not been very professional or communicative. So it's interesting, right? Because those really go hand in hand. I mean, we of course we have a lot of clients, but in my opinion, having a lot of clients does not mean we should not be able to respond to someone. Like, look, of course, like someone emails in, we're not going to be able to reply in like 30 minutes, right? That would be great. But our policy, we just have like this soft rule is like, please expect us to get back to you in 24 hours or less. But sometimes it might take 26 hours. So fortunately, haven't had anyone complain about that. But communication is very important. We don't like email so to just sit there, right? We actually, fortunately, we have a software, email software that if it takes for some reason takes more than 24 hours, it assigns to a certain team members. Because so it's kind of like a action alert, I guess, like worst case scenario. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me respond to some of these questions here. Um, so by the way, we go to our website, greencardguys.com. You'll see the benefits we have with our team compared to other law firms. Even though I've talked at conferences sharing these tips. AWA 225. OPT got denied because of late application. I'm so sorry to hear that. You were sick before deadline. So you might want to try like a last ditch effort. Lawyers call it NUNC pro tunc filing. NUNCPROTUNC. NUNC pro tunc. It's basically Latin for please accept my application, even though it's late filed. Um, and if you have a doctor's note, that would certainly go a long way. But it's a last ditch effort. That does not mean it's going to be like approved, but you might as well try again because it's pretty pivotal, of course, for OPT. Which, by the way, if you're trying to get OPT, then this is March, folks. March 15th, right now, the H-1B registration window ends. It closes March 22nd, Eastern time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So you really need to get a company to sponsor you. There are so many companies in America. Do not give up. Indeed.com, of course, is one website for jobs, but it's really, they might not have taught you this. I mean, no one really teaches this, but it's who you know. Okay, Indeed.com is only going to get you so far. So just keep searching on LinkedIn. Also, look at mutual connections, whatnot. Join like even if you have to join like different what do you call it, like meetup groups. I think that company still exists. So just try. Don't give up, folks. Um, I have to block some people that's talking about someone wrote you're all for deportation. So I just blocked that person. How rude. Let me scroll back down. uh Dona on TikTok. Waiting almost a year for the 824 for your spouse is something you can do. Um, Possibly a lawsuit. Let me check the USCIS web page on this. Processing time. Okay, for the 824. I do recall that was taking a hell of a long time, but let me see. 824. Uh, it's taking a while to show up. National Benefits Center. National Benefits Center says 10 months, but where's your application at? But if it usually most applications you don't have to wait the amount of time on the processing timetable on USCIS to file a lawsuit, but this one's 10 months, so you're getting pretty close. Hopefully, good luck to you. All right, Chelvin, advanced parole. You apply for advanced parole. Okay, let me share with others here. Chelvin asked or mentioned that I talked about filing for advanced parole. Uh, Him and his wife are in Houston, and the question is, does she have to be out of the country to file for advanced parole? Definitely not. You want to file that when she is here, currently, like today, basically. But based on DACA, you can't apply for advanced parole just for any reason at all or no reason. You do have to put some kind of specific reason, which, if you're doing it yourself, there are very specific reasoning categories, I guess you could say, on the 131 instructions based on DACA. So I would hate for you to file this and then get denied because you didn't give a reasoning based on those categories mentioned in the instructions. Because it's, I think, $575. Uh, okay, Awa. I think Awa, your question before was about expedite request, and it sounds like I may have missed a comment here on TikTok that it probably got denied. You have all the ER documents. Um, you cannot appeal an expedite request decision, unfortunately, because it's a courtesy for them to process it. It was created because of the pandemic, and I'm surprised they didn't get rid of it because it's not the pandemic anymore, according to the CDC. All right, so let's see here. Thanks so much for your questions. I'll probably be live for another 5 minutes, so I'll try to answer a few more questions. And if I'm not able to get back to you, especially it's easier on TikTok and Instagram, go ahead and just message me. Um, Usually it's one of my team members, Maria, responding. But some from time to time I do have a chance to respond, but not often. But if you need our website, she'll send it to you. And it's also in our profile on TikTok if you go to the homepage. You're welcome, Chelvin. Raj, you applied for TPS. The case processing shows that 80% of cases decided in 2 months. It's already been 3 months for you. You're getting closer to the date they let me inquire. Do you have any suggestions? Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty close. I mean, it's past the time, and it's getting closer to inquiry date. You being allowed to do that, so just do that. Just hang out for that. But if it's like 6 months and still processing, then that's when you contact me, our law firm, about Mandamus lawsuit. Okay, but I suspect usually TPS they don't have issues with that. Okay, Raj, good luck to you. Yeah, especially when it's re-registration, you would think it's just like rubber stamp, but that's not how the government works. We're a world superpower. We like to take our time. After you pay full 100% the fee. They like to take their time. All right. By the way, folks, if you appreciate the way I share information, even if I didn't get to your actual question, please tap the screen on TikTok and click the thumbs up or like on your respective platform. Mm. And also subscribe and follow. You can get notified about our next show. All right. On TikTok, a question about from Durham. Who to reach out when cases under administrative processing for more than 2 years. What the hell? Okay. All right, folks. You definitely, if you are abroad or you have a family member abroad, even employment based case, and it's been 6 months after administrative processing, I mean, you're welcome to contact us before. A lot of people contact us like the day after they get admin processing. Because I can imagine you're like already Google searching or whatnot, searching on TikTok about what happens after. But even from the interview date until later, we can email you a free guide about this kind of scenario on what to be aware of, to explain the admin processing. But ultimately, I would wait at least 6 months after admin processing before filing a lawsuit. Now for you, Cab Durham, it's been 2 years, so let's definitely chat. Give us a call. Okay, that's way too long. Brina on TikTok asked, "How much is our consultation fee?" We currently do not charge for it, or our team. If you allow our cares team, um, you typically like the first person you talk to. If you allow them to pre-qualify you, and we'll offer you a no-cost strategy session. Now, this is not for everyone. First, you do have to mention you found us on social media. Of course, if you don't mind, mention which app or platform you found us on. Helps us understand like where people find us, right? And they'll share information, understand your story better. Okay, but yeah, not everyone's qualified. Few people have like a lot of hypothetical questions. That's definitely a situation, and you don't have a sponsor. If you definitely don't have a sponsor, that's not a situation for a strategy session at no cost for you. But that's more of like a webinar. So if everyone just want to learn more about the future, especially like national interest waiver, we'll have a webinar maybe towards the end of this month, actually. That's one of the more common ones people have been asking about. Let's see here. Amal on TikTok, N400 interview passed. I think you mean you passed the test. Congrats on that part, but no decision can be made. How long to wait? So if it's been 120 days, I believe that's correct. The USCIS policy manual actually states this is the only application where they actually state that if you haven't received a decision in 120 days after the interview, they say sue us, take them to federal court. So, which doesn't mean you can't do that for other applications, but they're saying in this situation, you should not have to wait. You must not wait after 120 days. If you do, file sue the government, sue USCIS, which we're happy to help you. Okay. And sometimes there's no red flags, by the way. They're just slow. But a lot of people, a good amount of people, majority of people for N400 are approved fairly quickly, like within a week or less. But some people, there might not be any red flags and still get delayed. It's very ridiculous. All right, so I can answer. All right, folks on Instagram are shy. All right, so you know what? It probably doesn't look that good on Instagram. But anyway, okay, Haroon on YouTube. Thanks for the question. I see two comments here. Let me see if I can answer it. Sorry if I miss anyone. Let's see. Okay, Haroon. Haroon is from Pakistan, and your wife lives in America. The I-130 just got reviewed by USCIS 6 months ago. Okay, that's a bit ago, half a year. Now you're waiting for approval. Total time is 11 months. California Server Center. Um, not when she submitted the case, she's a green card holder, but now she can apply for the blue passport. Yep. Okay, congrats to her for getting the becoming a citizen, if that's what you're referring to. Yeah, you can upgrade now. she would have to notify USCIS as soon as possible, which is thank you for mentioning this, Haroon. So if you're wondering, like, let's say your spouse is resident right now, but by the time it's he or she is able to become a citizen and then actually becomes a citizen, and your original case is still pending, especially at the petition stage, you want to update USCIS ASAP, because USCIS takes a hell of a long time. Right now, I believe 24 months on a petition sponsored by a resident. So do not wait. Do not assume that even though your spouse's application was approved to become a citizen by USCIS, that the same agency who's processing your petition, they're going to talk to each other. Hell no, they don't do that. So you got to, that's obviously another benefit of a law firm. Okay, to help you with the strategy. So hopefully that helps, folks. Um, I don't think I skipped anyone on YouTube. So, all right, folks, I'm tired. I gotta catch my breath. I gotta eat real quick and then talk to my team. Thank you so much for your questions. I'm gonna try to go live. If I'm not able to answer your question, I'll try to go live in the evening. If my family goes to sleep right on time, but no promises. If that does happen, it could be like 9 or 10 p.m. Alrighty. So thank you so much. Contact us, DM us, go to our website, greencardguys.com. You know what? Subscribe or follow. You have a good one. Take care. Peace. If I can hit the button.